this episode of Huber Syndrome. We love replaying games. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Today we're talking about replaying games. I know there's more games to come on the horizon, and there's games you haven't played that you want to play. Your backlog keeps piling up, but I say, let's revisit some of these. So one of the main reasons I love replaying games is to get a different perspective. You know, the story of a game is so important, and depending on where you are in your life or what's going on, you can perceive a game differently. Case in point, Nier Automata. I only got through a little bit because at that point in my life, I wasn't ready for a mind-bending, trippy, thought-provoking game. I just wasn't in the mood. So most of the time I am. I'm always down. But for whatever reason, right in that exact moment, I wasn't. Which brings me to Assassin's Creed 3, a game that upon release, I really did not like. I was feeling the fatigue, didn't really get into the story, but the remaster came out, and I revisited that game for the first time in years, and found myself loving the characters, loving the story, just coming at it with a fresh perspective, and now I think about the game completely differently. Next up, one of my favorite reasons to replay a game, higher difficulties. Now I know this one came up recently in our GOATys with Devil May Cry 5, a game I just went through once, and the first playthrough wasn't the best because I couldn't fully engage with the game the way that I wanted to. You know, I really wanted to get crazy with the combos and get some triple S's in there, but I haven't yet revisited it, but I am looking forward to do so. But on some of the ones that I have played through multiple times, I think of God of War on God mode and completely changing the way how you play that game. Instead of just mashing your combos through, you know, you have to block and parry and roll. And obviously square triangle is really OP, but still there's a lot more tactics. And the same goes for Resident Evil 2. Playing on hardcore mode is just a completely different feeling in this game. And I love digging deep into difficulties, getting better at a game and playing it differently. Now we've all got FOMO. I've got it. I don't want to miss out. You know I love the zeitgeist. But sometimes it can be a little too much. The Death Stranding hype was pretty wild when that game came out. There was a lot of noise. So sometimes replaying a game years later, years down the line, it kind of feels like you can play it in a bubble. You know, it feels like maybe you're the only one in the world playing this specific game at this time. And I love that. I think it's important to kind of drown out the noise, get your own clear thought process on the game. Sometimes it can be hard to shut all the noise off, and there's just penetrating your mind. It's too much, it's overwhelming. So take a pause, replay the game in peace and quiet. And this last one isn't necessarily replaying games, it's about getting back into them, live service games. You know, it can be hard to step away from a game and then come back to it. You know, I think of things like Fortnite, Battle Royale, Call of Duty, all these franchises, Monster Hunter, these games that just keep on existing and living when you put it away. But just overcoming that mental hurdle, that barrier, stepping back in with Ben Moore to do weekly hunts can feel so rewarding. But when you do, when you overcome that unnecessary fear, Ben Moore is waiting.
That's actually Tofu, like from Resident Evil.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, does he have the knife?
Yes,
Dude,
yes.
Dude,
And he
that's
makes
sick.
noises.
How come
Yes.
you don't have that, Huber?
I know it's a tough ask replaying games, but when I do, I find myself falling in love with them even more. And now it's time for the community queue! As you know, I've been grinding away at Dark Souls on the side. This all started for Game of the Year comparison, Sekiro versus Dark Souls, the evolution of combat and all this. I know Demon Souls is first, but whatever. Let's all see what you've been playing. First up, ironically, is I hate boss fights, but they're coming in with a no damage pursuer boss fight in Dark Souls 2. Shout out really impressive stuff here, just chipping away at the Pursuer. Really like this boss fight, even if they double dip. You know, this is the Pursuer. This is a direct reference to Nemesis. This thing showing up again. You know, the Nemesis was called the Pursuer. I sense a connection. Next up, we got a little gem from Craftium called Assault Spy, and they're reviewing this game, and they wanted to give a shout out to the DMC style combat, and apparently one single person is making this game. And it just looks awesome. I'd never seen this, never heard of it. Just looks cool. And lastly, Get Callum McDonald giving the finger to King in Tekken 7. Professional move right here. Good BM. And that's it for the episode. Let me know what game you've replayed the most or what you plan on replaying in the near future. And don't forget to submit your footage to communityq@easyallies.com so we know what you're playing. Thanks so much for watching. Love and respect.